Hello and welcome back to Tron Sports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video, and we start today just south of Bracknell, or actually quite close to Carnforth. And you might be wondering, what are all of these orangey red lines all over the map, all over the ground? Well, if you recall a few episodes ago, I said that I need to start converting all of these fields. In fact, I mentioned it in the last episode, but these hedgerows that border all the fields and farmland need to be converted from splines to just simple assets, because this is eating into the performance of this playthrough. This is a massive undertaking. And so this is the plan that I have going forward. So before the next episode, all of this area will be relayed. And the reason I've had to put all of these lines in is because I need to delete the splines, because some of them cut into the ground. Some of them, basically, they are not set up quite properly. And because of that, I cannot just build... I cannot just build the assets above it. If somebody knows a way to get these splines to move and actually sit on the surface as they're supposed to, as opposed to how they're cutting through, please do let me know, but I do not think it's possible. So yes, this is the only way around it, and in all honesty, I do not think I'm going to get the entire map done, so my focus is going to be to do it around the towns and along the railway. So around the railway, and after the intro I'll show you where I plan to do it and in what sections, and then we're going to get on with a little bit of optimization, looking at the timetables now that things have been flowing for a while, and also I think I need to make a few additional passing loops on the railway, so I shall be going ahead and making that. Lastly, I also want to get the freight running to Shepton Mallet, following on from what we did in the last video. So make sure you stay tuned, and let's get started. Right, so just to show you what I have done, only this section. But you'll notice that this is much, much smoother now, as opposed to here. And this is even more important since there is probably going to be no way I can afford a modern machine now. I'm looking at doing some upgrades, but I think those upgrades are going to have to be a couple of generations old, since, DDR5, RAM, and all of that. Let's change the date to the date of release, which is planning to be the 30th of December, so the last video of 2025. And let's go ahead and show you how long this actually takes. So I'll just mark out a bit of this. So we'll go ahead and pause this. This is how I'm having to mark things. So that tells me, so this is just basically telling me where each of these sections are, and some nature of the curvature. That one's fine. It doesn't, as I said, I'm not make it perfectly, or I haven't mentioned that yet, but it isn't perfectly accurate, but I need to make it as close as I possibly can to what it originally was, in order for it to look right, because this took a lot of thought to get done, and I do mean a lot of thought. To if you've watched all these episodes back, I started this 226 episodes ago is when I started this. So there is a lot that needs to be done, and it took me until I don't know when to actually get this completed. And it got better with time, of course. Let's go ahead and do that. That tells me that there's something here. Mark across there. This bit. So it looks like the farm just does that. There we go. And I should be able to figure the rest of that out. Excellent. I'm not going to bother with this side yet. And that should cover everything. Maybe not everything to Conforth. I'll have to do that. And that. That. And that. And also that one up there. Going to there. That border is obvious. And this curve here. Okay, so that's given me some sort of idea of what's... Well, actually, there's this bit too. Some sort of idea of what I need to do in this area. And now it's just down to me actually doing it between episodes, because obviously you would not want to see that. That is quite dull. But yes, once I get this done, this section, all of this should just start becoming smoother, more performant, because there's less calculations going on. And also for every one of these roads and junctions that I remove, because they are marked out as roads, I will be able to put another road and junction into a town without the performance loss, hopefully. Anyway, back to what we were going to do. So first up on the list today is the third track at Stratford. Look at this lag. Here we go. So the third railway right here is first up on the list. Let's go ahead and actually take a look at the speeds. So this is 100 miles per hour. Realistically, I don't think it needs to be 100. We're going to put a 50 mile per hour track in here. No, 2. There we go. 50 mile per hour track. And let's see how well this pans out, shall we? So far, so good. Shocking. Let's quickly put that in before the computer changes its mind. That's fine. Up to there. And what I'm going to do is just temporarily peel this in so that it actually... so that I can actually see the curvature. Yes, that is what I'm going to do. So I'll peel that in like so. Good. So now that that is done, what I need to do is, so we've got that bit. Yeah, you're still going to wait. We've got that bit there. That is going to be the new track. What I need to do is I need to connect this up to this bit. No. Where is it? Equal. There. Oh, I did it. It's almost did it. Okay. What I need to do is pause this and break this bit of track. Deal with the complaints. Because that is now going to go like that. This bit is going to go... Hang on. This bit is going to go like that. If you're wondering what this section is all about, this is going to be for... In fact, no, maybe I shouldn't do that there. This is for the traffic, because previously... No, actually, this is good. This is going to be fine, because it's now going to, the embankment's going to go down to the houses, which is pretty reasonable. Like that and like that. Do you know what? That looks absolutely fine. I'm then going to place a signal here. I'm going to place a signal. Oh dear. Here? Sure, here. And I'm going to remove. No, that should be all right. Remove this signal. No, not that. Oh dear. I keep getting this incorrect, but I'm doing this more often than not, where I keep destroying the wrong bit or whatnot. Right. What are the signal? It looks fine. I don't know why it's being such a pain. Go and grab. Who are you? It's you, isn't it? Yes, it is you. Right. From Bridge North, you need to go past this. And to Bridge North, you need to go past this. There. That should now keep it. Oh, I know why it's doing that. It's because that is the fastest route, isn't it? That should keep it well out of the way of that traffic. So, great idea. Now executed. Yep, that should do the trick. That should definitely do the trick. Okay, so that will speed things up ever so slightly. And I do mean ever so slightly. This is not going to be the fastest thing that you will ever see. Next bit, this section. So we've got 2-track, and how many... Look at the amount of traffic that piles in through here. I think... How big a junction can I make here? Let's find out. How big? 500 yards. What's about on this side? Let's find out how big a junction we could make on this side. Say this did go to 50 like that. What's the size of a junction here? Slightly bigger. So what I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking, is that I could... What just happened there? Well, that isn't anything like what I was after. There we go. Straight to 50. That gives me 540 yards to play with. Good. And I will put a signal there. These signals then need to be moved. Oh, where can I put these signals? End of the platform? To ensure that the block is the correct size. And similarly, I guess that signal will have to go right there. So the reason I'm doing this is for block sizes. Okay. And I'll explain that in a moment in a little bit more depth. I just want to make sure that I can get this working first off. There. And 550 yards. Well, we'll figure out what it needs on the other side. No, that's not. Well, that isn't it at all, is it? Get rid of you. Figure this out. It baffles me how it manages to do certain things. I'll be honest. If they could improve that in the next iteration of Transport Fever, that would be excellent. Okay. So, no train, and then this needs to be killed as well. But what I could do is I can put another signal just here. I cannot put a signal here because of what I've done. I can put another signal just here, though. Yeah, I can do that. How far is that from the next set of signals? Okay, no, that's better. Now, what I'm going to do is anything in this area that is freight, like for example that, this could cause other traffic, but I have to attempt this. Must go past that. On the opposite side, it must go past this. I'm thinking this might cause further traffic, but I'm hoping it does not, because it's going to go into this and then it's only going to have about 50 yards. That train then behind must start moving. We'll have to see. This may not work. This may not work at all. In fact, I might need to push this tunnel back about 100 yards to about there. And that might help. But that is one. Stratford Coal needs to do the same thing. So, out there and going in past that. So anything else here that is... Yes, these loop ones need to do the same thing. So when you are heading towards... Is it that bit? What? Oh, Sudbury. Yeah, sorry, no, that's right. I'm going to have you peel off out there too, because you do not need to be in the way. And I think that should help. That should definitely help the movement of traffic. In theory. Now this is here just for decoration, by the way. This is not a and if you do have a name for this village, please do let me know. But this is not an active station and never really will be. But there we go. That's one passing loop in. What I could do is potentially take a thumbnail here. In fact, I might just wait for a train to get into that area so that the passing loop is obvious. But there you go. That's now, so that can do its 80 miles per hour. This signal needs to go. There we go. Good. Much better. Well, I say much better. I've not even... There's no real test of this. Although this might be better. Hold on. Why are you still there? What are you doing on that route? Well, that's still in the way, but that must have been tasked earlier. That's fine. It will not have an impact on this train yet. Right? Okay, train. Train, not bridge. No, train. Thank you. This train's managed to reach nearly top speed again. 80 miles per hour, or 85, 86 miles per hour, heading in towards Sudbury. Sudbury? Yes, Sudbury. In fact, if I've got this right, which I haven't, this should pass through Stratford-upon-Avon at nearly 90. But I do not believe I've got this correct. I've actually got this right. Okay, hang on. Because I've done this, I think this is probably the first time we're going to get to see a train going through at almost top speed. Because this is a sort of speed that the trains are going to be running at in the future. We'll get them up to 125, of course, but this is a sort of speed we're expecting the train to go past at. I mean, that looks fairly realistic. That did look fairly realistic. That's good. I've somehow managed to do that. Is this going to make it? Slow down to 80 for this corner. That's fine. Is that train? No, hold on. What about this one? Oh, you're doing 60, but you're heading towards Stratford-upon-Avon, so you will be stopping. That's fine. Okay, so we've got some improvement there. This section is fine. This section, I believe, is fine. Anything here? Any major blocks in this area? So we've got the loop, which is just annoying at times. We have Southern Freights, but really there's 3 other services that run this, and they're all fairly slow services. We have this section. Right. This is what I'm going to do. So this section is going to be improved. Sudbury Taunton. So you have to go past that to keep out of the way, and going towards Taunton you have to go past that to keep out the way. And given the distance we have for the freight, I think I can do the same thing. So I don't know where that signal is, but I'm going to pop it down that side. This is the bit that has the weird ghosting, and I have no idea why. And go past that side. Right, what's the length of this track? 280 yards. Okay. So there is potential that there could be traffic caused by... Is that my rail replacement? Excuse me, all rail replacements, please return to the depot. I think that's what I've just done there. Yeah, all rail replacements, please return to the depot. That's not necessary anymore. It's holding up all the traffic. Apologies.
Hey.
Evans, Moore, Thomas, and White. Sounds like I was just introducing people, like a football team. Evans, Moore, Thomas, White, and Thompson. Actually, now it just sounds like I'm introducing like a Quidditch team or something. Right, anyway. Back to what I was doing. Ooh, tiny little church. Back to what I was doing. This bit needs a fix. I'm going to run away from that. This bit appears to be okay. I mean, it's only a short section of 2-track. So I think we should be absolutely fine. And that train's managed to reach it with all of 1 passenger on board. So yeah, that's fine. Let's have a look over here. What else do we have to worry about? Not much there. Then we've got this section. Now here there might be some concern. First off, there is an open track, and I do not know why that is the case. Right, could that be because... No, I'm not sure. So I could improve something here, because there are two... There are two tracks that are unused. So let's go ahead and figure that out. Sudbury. So it's Shepshire to Sudbury. Let's put... Let's say you have to go in via that. Will it be okay? Actually, I do not want that. It's the way out. So I probably want it to be via... No, you are fine. It's the other one that I want to move around. Think. Going in, you do need to be there. However, on the way out, this loop B, wherever that's going from, Sudbury. So is it you? No, that's Kingsbridge. Sudbury, here we go. Is it you? Is it that one? Shepshire going in, you're fine. Towards Berwick upon Tweed, that's the one I want. Wait. No. Because that goes past Batley Signal 24. What? Where's that come from? Well, there we go. It's worked. I'm just not entirely certain where that came from. Okay, so that should just open up a little bit in the areas here. So we've got this. How many things run down this line? Southern Freight and that. There will probably be a little bit more running down this line, but I have created the passing loops already, so that's good. I might want to move the loop onto it. We'll see. But the passing loops are created, and I am not too concerned about that at all. Over here, aha. Here's some oddity. So we have an oddity here that needs to be rectified. Actually, no, because I'll be putting an express train through this, and I would rather that was clear. Okay, good. That's not a problem. Let's go out over here. Possibly could do with another set of passing loops here, if we're going to have the freight station there. But we'll have to... if I do that, let's find out. Let's run this. Oh, yes, I can run this for 600 yards and then bring it straight back in. So anything that passes through this area will have to deal with that. All I'm trying to do here really is just keep the freight out of the way. That is what I'm trying to do. Keep the freight out of the way of this of passenger traffic, because freight can wait. Freights can definitely wait. There we go. Right. Signals. That. And... oh, come on, that. And... routes. And... it's only loop B here. Hang on. It's only loop B here. Well done, brain. Okay, well, that can be for future. That can be for future reference. I should have checked that. Assuming there's more traffic here. Yes, here's the Maryport mixed goods. So this section is bound to be busy, but I have a passing loop already here, which is not in use. So that's what I need to get back in use. Or into use. There we go. Come on. No, there. Really, I guess I should be moving this. Is it that one? Just try and move this out of the way best as possible. These ones are much harder, I think, because somehow I've managed to put multiple setups on this, or multiple routings. That's not it. One of these will be it. Now, apparently that is it, but it doesn't... Is it after it or before it? No, it's definitely not that. I have absolutely no idea. It's almost as if that one is unnecessary. Oh, well, there we go. That's sorted that. Then which one is this bit? That. Right, that has cleared that. And then there's a train, but we'll go ahead and go ahead and do that. Okay, so that is now clearing the center of this for whatever. Also, because there's going to be no incredibly large train going through this. Oh, is there going to be a really large train going through this at any point? I could put another set of signals and sort of stack the freight, as it were. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. That should improve movement there. Right. This is still not active. Yeah, this station is still not active. That can be a task for next episode when we start getting express trains, express services into this. This bit, I think, is just going to be busy. There's not much else I can do about that yet. This bit could be interesting. I think there's one part of this is never used. Yep, that bit is never ever used. So I need to see what I can do there. On the main line, I think I've done as much as I possibly can. So this is one part that I have definitely fixed. This would have caused a lot of chaos, although there still appears to be chaos here. Now, I don't know what's causing it. Who's causing the chaos and why? Absolutely everything is stuck. Who is stuck? Why? Where? How? What has gone on? What has happened here? One train needs to move. It's these loops. These loops are actually terrible. Yeah, these loops are the things that cause issues. You can't go that way. I might just send everything. I might just send all of these loops, loop trains out of the way. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. All of these loop trains need to just get... where am I going to move them? Because they'll end up in depots all over the place. Then I'm going to have to try and find them. Anything moving now? You get out of the way. Maybe that will help something. You get out of the way. You're stopping. You're broken. Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. All of you to a depot immediately. In fact, I'm going to do the same for the loop A as well. Wherever that is. ZZ loop A. Here we go. What are the trains on this? Managed vehicles. All of you to depots. They are more hassle than they are currently worth. Now let's see if this actually opens things up. You're out of the, right, you're moving. Good. Then I'll redo the loop and then work from there. What are you carrying? Nothing? Oh wait, that's because you're stopping. Right, got it. No wait. Where did you come from? Okay, you just work between these two. So what are you supposed to be carrying? Anything there? Anything back? Check that. There's nothing marked. It's supposed to be transferring between two, but I guess there's nothing there. Okay. Is this... That's opened that up. We suddenly have some movement here. Loading speed really poor, but that's because you're in the wrong platform. You're waiting to get out of there. You're waiting to move. You're waiting to move. You're waiting to move. Why can you not head into this depot? There's a depot here. Why can you not head there? Can you not do that? Yeah, you do that. In fact, why don't you do the same? Just leave. Out of here. There we go. So you'll both cross over, head into that depot and park up forever. Any second now. That will open this up again. Alright, that train's out of the way. This one needs to get out of the way as well, so you go for the same depot. Okay, you are now heading in there. Good. Will that have the other one moving? No. That would have been useful if it did. Where are you going? Why are you not on that? Okay, fine. And then, let me guess, you're going to peel off on that side again. Of course you are. Why did you just not use that section? How bizarre. But at least things should now be moving. Come on, you get into the depot. You're incredibly slow. Into the depot you go. Right, whilst that is starting to sort itself out, there we go. We've actually got... Shockingly, we've got movement now. And we've got over 1,000 bits of food. Right, that explains the problems there. That has cleared that up. Things should now start moving. Now, we've got the 4-track here, which... that's a bit... So, mixed goods. Everything crosses over in a weird fashion here. The express train should be going straight through the middle, but doesn't... No, it does. That's the dark green one, right? But on this side, it does not. So I need to make it do that. Down and mark it. Unless the wait, what are the platforms? Down and mark it. Platform 1. So as long as it's 1 or 4 marks on these, we're okay. 3. That should probably be 4. do not understand why that is a thing that doesn't work. There is no way that it should not be able to reach. This is 4-track the entire way. I guess that is why. So in that case, I need to ensure that the express train is on the outside at all times. Why does it do this? I do not know. So does that mean Downham Market platform 1 is a no, there we go. Platform 2. Okay. Let's get this figured out. Bracknell Sudbury. Can you go past that? Yes. Can you then not go past the waypoint? Yes. I wonder if that waypoint allowed it to split. That would have been interesting. Right, you need to go past the waypoint. Right. Out of Downham Market, past the waypoint. As does the coal do the same thing. So, past the waypoint. As does mixed cargo do the same thing. Past the waypoint. As does mixed goods transfer. Past the waypoint. You do not want to go past the waypoint. Why is that? Why is that? Okay, it must be the signalling. Past the waypoint. There we go. That leaves the express route out there. On the return legs... On the return legs, who's going to be empty? Not you. You are not going to be empty, so I need you to... Where's the nearest signal? I think these signals are the wrong way. But then, both of you are going to have to somehow peel in... No, you're alright with that. Okay. Let's figure it out from there. Let's see if that improves anything. This seems like a problem. Yeah, that seems like it could be an issue. Okay, following on from that, this entire section... is there any way I could make a passing loop here? Let's see. If I were to make a loop here at 600 yards and just put freight on it, that could work because the freight joins up just here. So if I were to immediately put freight on, I think that could work quite well. Annoyingly, in the opposite direction, it's going to be really, really close to the field. Hold on, maybe I can do this. Hang on. How far... That could do. Let's do 580 yards. That keeps it... There's still some distance. And that's just for freight. So freight goes into that area and just... Yeah, and just stops. I think that is reasonable. Let's do that. And if I need to expand it, I'll expand it in a bit. Okay. And then, not that. It needs to be 50, right? 50 and 50. Good. Wait, did that just remove the... No, it didn't. I'm going to have to do some asset removal, and this is going to be a problem. See, this is what I want to prevent. Right here. Alright, let's try to very carefully remove... can I make it so that it is single? Just do not want to remove all the trees. So worked really hard to put those trees down. I'm glad that when I made this, I made it in such a fashion that it cannot be deleted just with a paintbrush or with the eraser tool. Sometimes I actually think about things, shocking as that might be. And let's push this back to about there. Okay. Do the same thing across on this side. Very carefully. There we go. And now try to, again, remove everything without removing too many trees. So that issue that we just saw with the train having to stop, that could potentially be mitigated with this little passing loop that I'm creating. In theory, that's my theory. And obviously I've done this that's what most of this episode's been about. Still one thing left to do in this episode once I've done this. This is going to be the last passing loop I create. There we go. I think I did remove a tree, but it's fine. Okay. Signal can now go... Let's pop the signal here. Going to put another signal in just here. We'll put a signal in, one signal just here. The next signal, I'd put it there, but these signals could be a problem. I've already done this in a few places. I'm concerned they might be a bit of an issue. Right, so Stratford Cole, as you are heading, so out of here, you are now passing by that. No, you're not. You are passing by that. No, you're not. You are passing by that. No, you're not. Why? Why are you not able to do this? Because I haven't built the other side. Well done. Which means I've messed up something else further along, haven't I? In Batley. No, actually, it's somehow handling it. Okay, back to where we were. I haven't connected the other side. That is why this is not working. Let's do that first. So, on this side, there we are. Back up to speed. Excellent. Now let's do this. So, you are going to connect up there. Good. You are going to do the same thing. So, you are going past that. Anything else? Yes, you are going to do the same thing too. Good. So this is going to give me as much. This is probably the best sort of style I'm going to get in this version of Transport Fever. I'm not going to be able to get this running in any better fashion, I think. At least not in time for me to finish this series in a timely manner. There we go. That's better. It's just these little passing loops everywhere. In fact, here comes one of those trains. So let's see if this helps. So it will slow down. And it will just ignore the passing loop. Let's see, is there anything behind that will be catching up to it? Not on this run. Okay. Well, whilst that's happening, let's go have a look at the passing loop I've created. Where was the passing loop? There's one over here, right? Is there a passing loop? Is this in action? It is not. Oh, hang on. I've got that train going towards Berwick. Is there anything behind it? There is. There's an express train coming up behind it. Okay. So, you are doing 60. What's the express train doing? 70 almost. Now it's braking. What are you braking for? Because it's caught behind this. That's what it's braking for. So I need to perhaps work on better signalling? Okay, so there is some signalling issues here too. Potentially I need to put a set of signals. Maybe that is why I need it off this route. I'll see. Let's put a signal here just to see if that helps along with the movement. But okay, this thing is doing now is going faster than. Yeah, now it's going much faster than the other one. So there is potential that this is not going to work, or not going to be a good example. Let's see where these two trains are. That one's approaching Batley now. It is going slightly faster. It's now passing through Batley. Oh no, it's going through a second tunnel, then passing through Batley. There it goes. Now it's picked up 70. I don't think that train is close enough. I'll be honest, I do not think that train is close enough behind this one. But then that also makes sense, because you do not want the freight to be waiting a very, very long period of time. So if this was one signal behind, which it was previously, but it isn't anymore. If it was one signal behind, that would be more useful. Where is this passing loop? Here. So let's see how this works. This is now 15 miles per hour faster. That is going nearly 20 miles per hour faster. That is going through the tunnel. That has just left Croydon. And it's just come back onto the main line, or onto the spur. That is now braking. What are you braking for? It says waiting for a free path. Oh, it's because that is crossing in the way. Well, this is all manners of not great. But actually, that's sort of worked as well. So that train's managed to get out in front of this one. But I'm not going to be able to test. And this might test this in the reverse direction. Ooh, there is a test in the reverse direction. This plainly ignored the... Why are you ignoring this? That was the exact test I needed. It would have gone into that, and oh, in fact, you've ignored it too. Right. Okay. Well, something isn't right. Let's finish this off by getting a train to Shepton Mallet. Now, I have put some boats in Shepton Mallet, by the way. I know they are not cargo ships. I mean, that one is, but until I can actually find a reasonable cargo ship to put in, I'm just leaving these here just to give it a bit of decoration. Now, what I'm going to do here is, I know I was going to do just the west goods, but I've thought this might be a better idea to actually just run a direct line, because the only way I can do the west goods is to... Well, actually, I guess I can do that. So I can go back there and then... Okay, you know what? Let's just do that. Let's just do what I was going to do. And we want it to be into here. And it can go into any platform. This bit doesn't matter to me. That's fine. And then after that, it says West Mersey North. I don't think that's the yard. I think it needs to go back to here. And it used to go to 11, so we'll try and take it back to 11. Yeah, we'll try and do that. This bit is a bit of a mess, I'll be honest. So this also needs to be cleaned up a little. Let's try that. And for the sake of speed, I will... In fact, no, we won't do something for the sake of speed. We'll actually get this running properly. So we've got that train, which is... How long? 162 yards. It's a few wagons, just a few random wagons. Let's go ahead and buy another train to add on to this. Steam, it can be... Let's look at ones that have a lot of tractive effort. Other way, autosave. This looks like a freight train. Developed for Welsh coal trains. Oh, I haven't set up my coal trains yet. Should probably do that. This is a mixed traffic engine. 60. Probably going to be useful. I may need to increase the speeds of these to 60, so let's go ahead and put one of these in, and we'll go for build date. Go for some of the newer ones. Here we go. Let's do some of those. Let's do, I don't know, a couple of these. We'll put in some random wagons, goods vans, and what else? Okay, a bolster. I mean, I doubt we'll need to use this, but you never know. So we'll put a few of those. There we go. One of those can be made, and we'll add that straight on to West Goods. Okay, that should now be on its way. Are you picking up or dropping off? You're picking up. What are you picking up? There isn't exactly much coal here. Are you two about to get stuck? I think you are. Or are you going to just... You're just going to clip it, right? Because somehow I've got these measurements wrong? Possibly. I might need to make these trains slightly smaller, or I might need to increase this just a touch. I think that is probably what I need to do. I know what the issue is. It's just a matter of pulling that off. Right. Okay. And with that, I think that is a... What are you? Oh, you're bringing some coal. Okay. So that is useful. I should probably get this up and running. Because at the moment this is not doing anything. Yes, let me get this up and running right now. What's the easiest way for me to do this? Probably just by putting a very quick depot here. Just a small quick depot. Yeah, I know you're sort of in the way. There you go, maybe that one will fit. In fact, that sort of works with this. And a little track to connect up to there. There we are. 10 miles per hour. That will do. And I'll create the... Wait, do I have the route? No. Let me create a new... No, I do have the route. Wait, it's called Bentham Coal. Right, all I need to do is... Where's that locomotive? The one with the... For the coal lines. These. So we'll do that with... build 8. Some open wagons that can take coal. They are just going to be pottering up and down. We'll do that. And you know what? Let's just put couple of 4-bank ones. More of that. There. 86 yards. In fact, we'll just remove that. There we are. And we'll do 3 or 4 of them. Let's do 4 of them. And pop them on here. There we go. Probably do not need 4, but just for the sake of it. Excellent. That should deal with the coal production, I hope. In fact, coal production should immediately start. Or do I not have any of these? I do not have anything going here, do I? So, cargo, 50. That can all go on. Let's make a new line from here to here. And we'll go CV. FRC CV. Bentham Coal. There we go. That should be right. Right? Or do I have it written as CV first? I do not know. No, it's FRCV. There we go. That's it. Turn it into that colour. Right, tell me that that's actually running now. Oh, there are vehicles on it. Now I just have to make sure that that is picked up by that. I just need it to start working. Okay. Well, that can be checked in on a little later. I still need to figure out why the passing loops are not working. It might just be that it's taking a while to pull through. But it's still annoying because it's... Okay, well, here we go. We get to see it here. Will it happen? Look, there's a train behind it. This could be it. This could very well be it. If that train gets... Yes, this is good. Here we go. It's working. But I do not think that train's going to get into this next section fast enough. It isn't. So that hasn't helped. Although, hang on. What I could do is the further back I push these... The further back I push them, the more time this train has to wait, effectively. That's how that's going to be. But that hasn't helped. Because that's now definitely going to be red. Yeah, so the further back I push these, the more that is going to help. Although I've just realised that's a freight train too. So let's look for a passenger train working its way through. Oh, you're going to stop though. Is there an express train? Is there anything? Not really. Anything coming along in the other direction? Also, not really. Oh, bother. Oh, hang on. What do we have here? Well, I mean, it hasn't shown anything working. Where is the traffic when you need it? That is the question. Where is the traffic when you really need it? All this time we've been having issues with traffic, and now when I want to try and prove a point, there is no traffic. And this is just working smoothly now. There's a train. Any other freight? No. And then this area is just open anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, well, I guess it's time to end this episode. I guess I can just do this and just mark that out as the thumbnail for a freight passing loop, or just say managing freight or something along those lines as the thumbnail and the title for the video. So with that, I am going to end today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Where are we? We're on episode 226. We have perhaps another 20, 25 videos to go at most to end this. This might cross over with Transport Fever 3. There may be a slight crossover. I shall have to see. Depends on how the beta goes and what the release date is looking like. You can find links to my Patreon, social media, and Discord server in the description box below, so you can go check those out If you wish to do so, I really should start using social media more. I just do not tend to use it. But yes, that is all from me. And a very quiet railway for now. I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series.